it's interesting because with that many SEC teams, that's basically a third of them. And you wonder who's going to get left out. Some of the other teams in the mix include East Carolina, Charlotte, let's see here, Louisiana Tech, Oregon. I think that Oregon's one. They're going to have some teams on the West Coast. So I think it's safe to say, unless the bottom falls out, Oregon and Stanford will keep their spots. Texas and Texas Tech, both in the mix here. We'll have to figure out what's going to happen on that front with them. But South Carolina is potentially a regional host, one of the top 20 here that have the potential to be one of the hosts for an NCAA tournament regional. The Pac-12, Big 12, and Conference USA have 3 teams on the list. Of course, the ACC with 2. The WCC and American each have 1 representative. And I tell you what, when you look up and down it, though, SEC heavy, man. And you can't really argue with that because the SEC is just the teams from that conference. They played well out of conference. Now, South Carolina potentially being there, you can make an argument that that maybe there could be one of the teams that's left off. I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's interesting, though. One of the other things is that capacity, regardless of the local regulations, will be at 50%. So there's that. So hopefully this will be the last time I have to talk about that, because we had the big news today that the Clemson-Georgia matchup will be at 100% capacity. I'm going to play the soundbite again. Yes. So the opening part of the season, that's what's going to happen. You will have all of those blue seats up there in Bank of America Stadium will have either Clemson orange or the Georgia Bulldog red in it. What a clash of colors that'll be. So that'll be an interesting setup there with that matchup scheduled for 100% capacity. So some good news there. Jonathan's talking about South Carolina, says, take those 3 first inning runs off the board and we tie, if not win it, against Mississippi State. Look, you can look at it from that perspective, or I can look at it like my buddy Carolina Jackpot in the upstate. They were basically 3 outs away from getting swept by the entire state of Mississippi. So, that's, we can make arguments all day long. If I were 6 inches taller, I'd be in the NBA with my jump shot. Just saying. It's one thing on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. 803-978-1832. Does South Carolina deserve a regional spot? Do you think that Florida State or Louisville should be in ahead of them? And do you think South Carolina is going to be one of the 4 that's not going to make it from this list, which includes Arizona, Arkansas, Charlotte, East Carolina, Florida, Gonzaga, Louisiana Tech, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Oregon, Pitt, Southern Miss, Stanford, Tennessee, Texas, Texas Tech, TCU, and Vandy? Be interesting to see how that works out for the Gamecocks. I think for them to host a regional, that the Gamecocks are going to have to win. I think that they need to at least win this series with Kentucky, and then the home series with Tennessee. I mean, if they need to win these next 2 series if they want to think about hosting, and possibly win a couple of games in the SEC tournament. But if they want to go in feeling safe. Now, if you go to Kentucky this weekend and you stub your toe, that's going to be a problem. Of course, Coach Kingston making a change. Brett Carey is going to come out of the bullpen and start the game on Saturday. So a different look for that Gamecock pitching staff. Well, more for you on the rundown in just a moment. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400. You think Charlotte's going to feel like a home game? Yeah, like Clemson's not going to travel to Charlotte, Alan. Okay. That's really funny. Whenever I hear you Bulldog fans, I just think, oh, bless your heart. You guys are just so cute. Just bless your sweet little hearts.
Wow, Rob.
Just being honest.
No, that was a cheap shot at me, wasn't it?
No, it was a cheap shot at all the Georgia fans that watched the show.
I'm a Georgia fan.
Well, we all have problems. Cody, the Tennessee has the potential to do that, so you're right about that. Is Founder Spot a host spot regardless of? Well, I mean, they're going to make the tournament, Jonathan. I think for them to be a host, then they're going to have, be in the tournament. I don't think they're going to just use the facility. That's not going to work. Ask Notre Dame about what? What are we asking Notre Dame? What are we asking Notre Dame there, Georgia fans? I mean, that's your only real non-conference, like, regular season win in the past, I don't know, decade. Pretty much. It's like you beat Clemson the last time you played them in Notre Dame. Okay. I'm impressed. I really am impressed.
I knew Rob would be impressed. Not sarcasm.
Do you have of course, Mr. Savage, college football over there? Do you have the visor, the women's visor that Kirby Smart wears? Do you have one?
I do not happen to own a visor.
Of course you don't.
What am I supposed to?
Your dad doesn't allow that. I know your dad. Your dad would probably beat you senseless.
What?
Wearing a visor like that? That's not happening. All right, here we go. Welcome back into the rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us today. Cole Kublik from ESPN put out a tweet earlier today talking about 3 transfer spots for LSU quarterback TJ Finley, Auburn, Penn State, and Texas. If he goes to Auburn, it's going to be one of those things where I don't think Bo Nix is going to stay. I just don't see it. I think he came to Auburn to play, and if they bring this guy in and he said, hey, there's a potential chance for me to compete for a starting spot, I don't know how that's going to work. So I think Bo Nix would go somewhere else, but that's just my opinion. Maybe not after this season. Maybe not for this season, but for next season. I could possibly see that happening. So interesting note there. A couple of other notes. Let's talk about Desean Watson for a moment. If you go to the website, foxsportsradio1400.com, I posted a story about the attorney for the accusers of Desean Watson that said that he had some issues with some sexual assault issues that they filed against him. His attorney basically shot back at the lawyer, Rusty Hardin, because Hardin said this week that that Tony Busby, which is the attorney for the accusers, reached out to him about a potential settlement for his 22 clients. Busby tweeted out today, not that many care about it anymore, but there's a thing called justice, and we will find it. Contrary to what Mr. Rusty says, he called him Mr. Rusty, like he's 10. We haven't approached them to settle ever. When they approached us, they insisted we sign this. We obviously didn't reach out to them. They begged us via the Texans to mediate. We hold the cards. The truth sometimes or most of the times hurt. We approached them. My butt, basically, is what he wrote. Read the whole article. It's up on the Fox Sports Radio 1400 website. Click right there as soon as you go to the page there, you'll see the full story on that. Basically, the gist of it is that Rusty Hardin's like, yeah, they want to settle. And the other attorney's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. So what a mess that's become. Then we have another massage therapist story. Of course, this is from Ohio State. Apparently, at least 5 football players acknowledged during interviews they engaged in sexual activity with a massage therapist, according to the findings by a law firm, Barnes and Thornburg, which the university retained to investigate the matter. 20 players say they received massages only. The massage therapist worked as an independent contractor, was never hired by the school or its athletic department, according to a statement by Ohio State. You know, the crazy thing is the interesting part about this is that they're all of age, so they had consensual sex, according to the report. But apparently, this lady was sending them, the 41-year-old lady was sending all of these players all kinds of lewd pictures and things like that. So basically, I love the line, no extra benefits were accepted by these players. Okay, then. Okay, I don't know what's going on up at Ohio State, but interesting to say the least. You know, I don't know how that's going to work out, but basically, if you were one of the 5 guys, there was 25 people that got massages, 5 of them said they had sex with this woman. Yeah, it's interesting. She claims that she was sending them lewd pictures and saying things like, you know, they were going to get in trouble, etc. You just got to be careful who you talk to, man. Wow. Nothing in life is free, by the way, regardless of how you look at it. And of course, that's kind of hitting people in the face there. All right. Final call for calls this afternoon, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Cody says, seems like NCAA penalties are coming to Columbus. According to the report, you know, she just met and had consensual sex with them. I don't know about the other 20 massages that happened there where nothing happened, but a mess. You never want to hear that. You never want to hear our players were having sex with someone and they were sending lewd photos. That's not something that you ever want to hear when it comes to your football program. What a mess. By the way, in case you're just joining the show, it was announced that North Carolina's released their capacity laws. So with that, the Georgia Clemson game will be at full capacity. What do you have for the show there, Mr. Savage College Football?
Oh, I was just anticipating another ta-da sound effect.
Oh, another ta-da sound effect. We got it. Yeah, but that's basically the big news today. And you know what? I think that we're going to get to a point now where we're going to talk about reduced capacity for the college baseball tournament because it's right upon us. Selection, we'll find out who the 16 seeds are on May 30th. So 2 weeks from this Sunday. Then we'll find out who all is going to play in the tournament the day after. But I think the last time that we'll have to hear during this pandemic that about reduced capacity is going to be with the NCAA baseball tournament. So, yeah, I mean, this is a big, big deal, especially with North Carolina, who at one point seemed like they were never coming out of lockdown. Now it's, okay, we're opening it up. And I tell you what, man, that's just something that can make you feel really good there as we head into the weekend. What a good way to start the weekend. I mean, that's positive news, right?
I completely agree with you.
So we'll see how the rest of the country reacts to that. And I think by the time college football season gets here, it's going to be everyone is going to be at a set point where I think we'll have the herd immunity because everybody's getting vaccinated. Have you been vaccinated, sir?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you know everybody's getting vaccinated. I know some people don't want to get the vaccination. That's fine, but still, 70% vaccination means herd immunity, and that's a big deal. So some good news on the COVID front today, as when we watched that big matchup between Clemson and Georgia, a matchup of I think it's going to be a top 5 matchup. It will be with a full capacity crowd in the stands. And I'll tell you what, I think that we're at a point now where it's like we're not really used to that because we've seen so much of the crowd diluted down. The first time that we see it, especially on the football front, where there's tons of people there and you get that full crowd reaction. I mean, it's going to be like, chocolate brownies with chocolate on top. I mean, it's going to be overly sweet and very, very cool. AEW announced that they're getting back into going and doing wrestling matches in front of fans. WWE's in the same mix. So before long, we're going to have lots and lots of live sports. It's going to be great. All right. So, Mr. Savage College Football over there is happy about that. Tell people where to follow you for your Instagram, because you put out some great information over there.
Follow me on Instagram at Savage College FB. Follow my Twitter as well, releasing college football news as soon as it comes out.
There you go with that. So you can also follow me on Twitter. I'm at Rob Sounds Good. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up after I am done today is my buddy Lawton Swan. Lawton is, of course, the czar of Clemson Sports Talk.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
He will have everything that you need to know about Clemson and everything else. It's not just a show for Clemson, folks. He's got you squared away there. Jonathan says he's looking forward to full capacity. Last year was fun, but weird at 15,000. Yeah. I mean, it was very strange. Very, very strange. This year, though, it'll be just different. Just absolutely different. All right. As I said, Clemson Sports Talk is next. Podcast for the show will be up about 5:00. Look forward to chatting with you guys on Monday as we'll look back at the baseball series. South Carolina should be kind of favored against Kentucky, I would say. Clemson's got an uphill road to go, hoping to just take at least one game against Florida State this weekend, as they are a top 10 opponent. So follow me on Twitter throughout the weekend at Rob Sounds Good, and we will bounce some of that stuff. Whatever it is that comes across my head, you'll find there. All right, so thanks for joining us here on The Rundown. We'll be back at it on Monday here on Fox Sports Radio 1400. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.